Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to another episode of One Nil, and I'm joined today by my personal favourite, Sam Jurman. Sam, welcome to One Nil.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here. Thanks for having
Awesome,
me.
awesome, of course. So there's plenty of Women's World Cup content obviously coming out, plenty of women's football to talk about as well. But before we get into that, we've asked the guests that I've previously had on the show, and just previously I spoke to Michelle Escobar, I was on Optus Sport. And before we get into a little about you, your boyfriend Adama, we've had on the channel as well, one of my personal favorites. We've had him on 1 nil many times, I think now too. She's obviously just asked the question. She wants to know what's the most embarrassing thing Adama has done.
Michelle, it's a hard one because there's many. We live together, so I can't give you all at once. Most embarrassing thing he's done. Oh, he won't even care. He loves to fart in front of me, but you know how guys will be like, go in a different room or something. He'll waft it to me. So I think I think we're meant to be. We're very comfortable around each other,
Yeah,
you can say.
yeah, that's good. I got in trouble recently. I broke the ice on that sort of thing last week in the car. Tried to say it wasn't me, but I was the only one in the car. But anyway, we're not we're not gonna start on that sort of note. But again, Sam, I mean, I've been fortunate enough to meet you a few times now and spoken to you a few times now. For those that haven't known you or haven't come across your path as well, what do you do? Why did you get into? I mean, obviously, I know you're in that sort of football media space. What sort of made you want to get into it? And yeah, tell us a bit about Sam Jurman.
So I've grown up with two older brothers, and I was pretty much not given a chance from day one. I was almost born at my brother Matt's football game.
Yep.
My dad wanted to name me Chelsea as well. Thankfully not, because I'm a Liverpool supporter. Um, so, I kind of grew up around that. My dad was their coach. I grew up playing as well when I was younger. I played locally. And then, yeah, I think for me, I grew up supporting them, going to their games. I kind of felt like, for me, even though I had a decent left peg, football for women kind of wasn't in that space where it is now, where there's more opportunities for you to progress and have a career in that. I studied education and then studied journalism. One night I went to a Fox Sports live show and I watched Tara Rushton and I thought, I could do that. Like I saw her passion for football and I thought, I've got the exact same thing. And I think I just didn't know there was a lot of opportunities out there that you didn't just have to play. You could be in the space too. So I worked at Channel 7 as a sports producer. I've worked at the A-Leagues, and now I'm currently freelancing in the sports space, producing and presenting. And it was kind of the Women's World Cup this year that kind of sparked something in me and said, hang on, this is a great opportunity for you, like freelance, try and put yourself out there and see where you can go with it.
Definitely. No, I think I mean, if it means anything, I think you made the right choice in the sense of I think there's plenty of opportunities out there now for I think especially women, female presenters as well, and also the Women's World Cup coming up. It's a really cool opportunity, but not even in the case of sort of from a business point of view. It's just something that I'm sure many people like yourself, a female with football experience and with football loving, I guess it's just a really cool thing to do. Like it's I guess it's been many people's dreams and ambitions. And you mentioned the name there, Tara. And I want to give Tara some of her flowers. Honestly think Tara Rushton will go down once she, in many years to come, once she finishes up in front of camera and all that sort of thing. I think she'll go down as one of the GOATs, especially in the point of a female presenter. Because I mean, I remember growing up watching the A League and Tara Rushton was there, and she's still just I think she's got a long time to still go, but I think she's someone that we'll look at eventually with a new sort of wave, and it'll include yourself and then just many other people. As I said, I just previously spoke to Michelle Escobar. I think she's really opened the doors without a lot of people maybe acknowledging it just yet because she's still so involved in it for the new sort of wave of female presenters as well. So I don't know, Tara, if you want to come on, just let me know. But
Shout out to
but
Tara.
yeah, no, definitely. I think it's a really exciting thing for you as well. When what sort of what sort of opportunities have you had? What's some of the things and content that you've created that you've sort of been most proud of, or maybe the first moment where you've gone, well, I'm really kind of doing this thing.
I think it's crazy, even for me personally. I think working in the media, I've just been able to flourish and grow. I think it's tough it's tough, you know, you're in the same thing. It's whether you're a female or you're a male, you put yourself on camera, you're vulnerable. You know, you show your passion and everything, and you allow people to pick at it, you know. So I think you really need to be content in who you are and your values. Otherwise, you can get, you know, caught out quite quickly. For me, I think I've grown a lot in the last 2 years. Obviously, working at the A-Leagues was something I was really proud of. Interviewing people like Joe Lowley, doing the women's A-League grand final, and giving the girls, you know, some exposure that they hadn't had before at a grand final. That's something I'm really proud of. And then being given the opportunity with FIFA to go to New Zealand and do the Women's World Cup draw was just something that happened so quickly, but something I was so proud of. And, you know, even something like standing at the Dolan Warrens, helping produce that and producing content there, and standing next to my brother, who I've idolized my whole life, and standing tall next to him saying, you know, I also have a part to play in this game. And it's something I'm really proud of.
Definitely, that's awesome. Yeah, 100%. I mean, well, you mentioned your brother, who obviously plays as well, and we mentioned your boyfriend Adama is involved in that, in the same space, in the media space as well. So you're surrounded by football. How important for you has it been? I know there's other people in Sydney as well, in that creative scene as well. But how important is it to have that sort of the close, maybe knit group, and have there been people that you've been able to sort of pick their brains and rely on, or ask some questions in the sense of how you can improve, and just in the overall sort of grand scheme of things?
Firstly, I think obviously having a boyfriend that is in the space has helped me so much. I think he's so incredibly talented, and just being able to make content, you know, like he films my content, he helps me. And, you know, freelancing, I'm able to get that feedback constantly because I don't have anyone else to help me. So he's an amazing support system. But I also think like the reason I probably wanted to get into this was seeing my brother grow up and seeing the sacrifices he made, you know, like living overseas by himself in Saudi Arabia, you know, South Korea, countries where you don't speak English. I've seen a lot of hard work that goes behind the scenes. And I think that made me really appreciate footballers and what they can do. You know, I did an interview, a little documentary for a uni assignment on Ali Abbas, and he opened up to me and he trusted me to tell his story. And to be honest, that's something I'm really, really, really proud of, because I think that's when I realized I could play a role in this game. I think the fact that players will open up to me and trust me to be vulnerable, and that's something where I can actually come in and have a difference. You know, it's not just about entertaining, it's about understanding who you're speaking to get the best out of them. So I think, yeah, it was underrated just growing up with my brothers playing and seeing everything that Maddie went through and just being so proud, but knowing that that's where I can come through and make a difference as well.
Definitely, it's a really good insight. Thank you for that. Elliot Bassam, like he's one that has a genuine like cool story now that you can look at it. But and it is important, I think, growing the relationships and not to just whatever. But every time I've met you, every time I think and seen you interact with others, you have the best connection with people. So it's credit to yourself as well. So that's something that
Thank you.
I should be really proud of too. But we got the Women's World Cup coming up, and we spoke about, you know, you were able to go to New Zealand. And we're seeing the photos with the massive ball that's there, and the whole sort of thing that they put together. How excited are you for the Women's World Cup? And the question I've asked everyone is, what do you think people can expect to see?
Definitely really excited. I think just to have it obviously at home, you know, in Australia and New Zealand is incredible. It's great for football here, not just women, but men's. I think like it create the appetite that we've all been having. I think growing up, I always fought the fight of when people would say, oh, you know, A League this, you know, football isn't great here. I just watch overseas. And I said, but it starts here. You know, like you can pick apart our game, but how do we develop our players rather than just sending them overseas? You know, like I think this will be so big for the young girls that have never watched football before and go to a game. And, you know, like I got sent jerseys the other day, Matilda's jersey, and I'm giving it to Adamu's little cousin. And I don't even know if she loves football, but I think it will spark something in her. You know, it has Sam Kerr on the back. And I know that she'll go to a game now. She'll watch a game when it's on. And that could be her idol, you know. And I think it's people I never had growing up. I think my life could be completely different. Maybe I could be a footballer. I don't know if the talent is as good as my brother. I mean, I've hit top bins, check it out. No.
I've
But
seen it. Yeah.
But I think, you know, if things were different for me at this age, my career could be completely different. And I think young girls will have those role models that we didn't have, and it's going to be great. It's great for football. It's great for Australian football.
Awesome. No, I mean, like I've said it previously on a couple of shows we've done now, and obviously working at Ultra and well, and being in that customization sort of thing. Every second shirt that comes through, like especially recently, it's been a Matilda shirt and Sam Kerr. I mean, she's a genuine superstar. It's not really until we sort of maybe see it with your own eyes, and obviously because she hasn't been, playing in Australia in a while, she's a global superstar now. Like even the little things, like I'm a FIFA nerd. I was a FIFA nerd growing up. She's on the cover of FIFA. It's stuff like that where it's like, when is the next time we're going to get an Australian athlete, let alone football player, sort of reach the top of whatever game it is as a Sam Kerr? So that's something that's really exciting to see, and myself being involved with coaching a lot of the female program at my club for the last 8 years too. It's you really want to see them just actually fall in love with it, and something that you can't force upon anyone. But again, the exposure here will just make it so exciting for them. What's one thing that you're most excited to see during the World Cup?
I think just like, I don't know, I'm weird. Like I was obviously, I haven't even got tickets for games because I was like, I'm going to be working in this. I know it. I was adamant. I was like, this is what I'm meant to be doing. But I think just going to any games, like I have a friend Esteban from Ultra in Sydney, and I said, let's just go to any random game, like let's just go see football. I think there'll be so many players showcased and teams that could even, cause an upset. I think so. I'll just be happy to be entertained and watch some football every day, like, and at a normal time. I
Yeah.
normally get up early to watch football. How good is it that we have it at prime time every day?
Exactly right. Yeah, and to back up what you said, I'm going to Jamaica versus someone. Like, I can't remember who they're
Yeah,
going to.
that's mad. See?
But yeah, it's that literal thing. It's like, well, are we ever going to get another World Cup here, whether it's a women's or men's? And obviously having the women's this year means that we're probably not going to get the women's one for again in a very long time. So it's like it's a good opportunity. My dad, even who, sort of only really fell in love with football because I fell in love with it as a kid. He got tickets. He was the one pushing to get tickets, so we could all go together, and it's cool. I bring my younger sister along. I'll bring my girlfriend, do all that. Make it a big family thing, which is
Yeah.
really cool. Just to witness it, just to be a part of it. Which it's something that not a lot of people can say, and that's something my dad said. Actually stuck with me a little bit. I'm never going to probably be able to see a World Cup in my lifetime. Whereas, and the fact that's really cool too is that he didn't separate the two. He purely said
Yeah.
a World Cup, which
Yeah.
I spoke to my mates about. I'm like, I think that's. I'm not to say he's old, but he's not young. But we often hear that generation sort of say, "Oh, the football here in Australia is this and that, whatever the quality," and you often hear the backlash that some of the women's games get sometimes too. It's I think we are breaking those barriers, which is thanks to a lot of the players, but also just the whole area within. But in that, how important do you think it is, obviously, for the Matildas to help drive that? I think they've already done it quite a bit in the sense of, I think they've just shown themselves a lot more than maybe we've been exposed to recently, where it just feels like a very authentic team, if that
Yeah.
makes any sense. But how important do you think their sort of progression, and even if they don't win it, just how important the way they condone themselves, especially in this tournament, is for the rest of the country, and for and the football in the country?
I think, like you mentioned before, like Sam Kerr even being on FIFA, I think she's not being compared now to just being like a great female footballer, just being a great footballer, And I think even the young girls coming through the A League, like Courtney Vine, for me, being able to witness that firsthand is really, really cool. Like a lot of these young girls that are so talented are now getting an opportunity. And I think, like, I think they're already great role models, but just being able to keep pushing that, pushing football here in our country is as huge as it is. I think, yeah, there's so much skill and talent here. And I think they'll definitely be seen now.
Definitely, definitely. So, I mean, before we wrap it up, I want to get a quick little prediction from you as well. I know predictions are the worst things, but other than winning it, how far can you say the Matilda's going?
I think like them being at home is already a massive advantage, and I think they're going to kill it regardless. I think the team that's been announced is great, so I think it's really hard with predictions. I'm obviously hoping for them to win.
Yep.
I'm also half English and Croatian, but I think England will be up there as well. So yeah, hoping for the best with the Matildas. I can definitely see them going all the way with that team.
Awesome. Well, Sam, thank you so much for jumping on. I'm sure we will see plenty of you throughout the World Cup tournament. I know I'm a big fan, and there's many other people that are a big fan of you as well. So I'll leave the Instagram, all the links to that business down in the comments down below in the YouTube description as well. And make sure to give Sam a follow. And even if you see, I'm sure someone will come across you at the games. I'm sure you'll be at plenty of the games. Go and say hi. So Sam, once again, thank you very much. Is there anything you wanted to end on? Anything you want to say? Tell the people.
I just want to say thank you. And honestly, good on you for giving women and people a platform to speak and, get to know us. I think what you're doing is really cool and you should be proud of yourself.
Thanks. Appreciate that. But before I was about to forget, I need one question from you. And who's the next guest?
Oh,
Do I tell you?
shit.
It's a player.
Oh,
I'll tell you it's a player. Because I'm not 100% sure. It's a player.
it's like,
It could be football related or just life. Tanya Davis asked
you should have prepared me for this. I really didn't think about this. Yeah, it's hard because I got a good one. She knew who I was. I know who they are. Who is her footballing idol and what made her get into football?
I like it. Cool.
It's not as great as Michelle's, but
no, I like it. I like it. Sam, once again, thank you very much. Thank you everyone for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe to that business. Go follow Sam. Keep an eye out on her for the rest of the tournament and just for what she does in the future. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys for another one. Bye.